Guten Morgen everyone, first things first, the hood. You can tell the icy fingers of winter come a-knocking because it's freaking cold at the moment. Thus the hood. I'm like really so you're just gonna have to deal with this today. Sorry about that. I know you want to look at my ginger luscious locks, but you're gonna have to miss it today. Oh no, bad, but let's get on with the video, yeah? Okay, by looking at the title, you can probably see that this video isn't exactly going to be comedy gold, but it's kind of a point that we all need to look at. I decided on this topic this week because I've been trying to catch up with my writing and it's been going horribly, and I've just been asking this question the entire time, like, should I even be a fantasy writer? So yeah, this video is going to be a bit personal, but I'm sure it'll relate to some of you guys who are probably feeling the same way. So let me paint you a scene. Look at my face! I must have done a really good day's writing. This is going so well! Oh, but then I noticed something. That's not written very well. Actually, all of it's pretty crap. Oh god, no. Okay, so the problem I'm having at the moment is plot. Recently, I'm finding it really difficult to tie down a decent plot. I mean, I'm reading all these books, and all their plots are amazing, and the characterization of these plots are amazing, and I'm just like, I can't do that. I really can't. Even if I can spend hours and hours, and then I just scrap it straight away. I mean, I know that's the process you've got to take, but it's, you know, when it just keeps happening and happening and happening, you start to question yourself and why you're actually doing it. I know I have. So I've been looking at alternatives. I know I shouldn't, but I have. Because I've been trying to build epic fantasy, and, like, although I can build the world, like I said, the plot isn't going well, so I've been trying to, you know, what other branches can I go down? So I was thinking of just fantasy. Now, for those who don't know, epic fantasy is giant worlds where you can really properly immerse yourself into this completely imaginary world, whereas fantasy is a smaller scale. It's a lot smaller scale in that respect. So, for example, Twilight would be fantasy because it's, you know, it's set in the real world as opposed to Lord of the Rings. So I tried that, and that didn't go well either. I mean, I'll tell you what, plot is a lot easier to tie down when you're smaller scale, and it seemed to be going well, but then that failed as well, so I was just like, right, where do I go from here? Then came the blasphemy. Recently I've tried writing something that isn't fantasy, and do you want to know the worst part? It's going really well. But I haven't given up. I'm going to keep trying, because the fact that I can still build these worlds just means I need to work on my writing practical skills. And if I can get that down, I can write a good novel from these worlds. So I just need the practice. But the point of this video isn't about me just nagging about my woes. Also, asking yourself this question isn't always a bad thing. Because if you're into epic fantasy, then that's great. If you enjoy reading it, that's great. But sometimes that writer inside you isn't always cut out to be epic fantasy. And sometimes it's important to realise that. And I know this sounds really bad, especially for the AWA, but believe me, it's not. You just need to refocus. For example, if you're really struggling with epic fantasy beyond the point that you just feel you can't do it, try fantasy. Just try standard fantasy, and you might find that you're absolutely loving it. And if that fails, you may find that fantasy just isn't for you. And that's not a bad thing by any means. Don't get confused though. Just because fantasy may not be going too well for you at that moment doesn't mean that you should just forget about it altogether. I mean, you might just be having a bad day or just run into a little bit of a writer's block. You know, just leave your work aside for a little bit. And that's exactly what the AWA is about, isn't it? You know, if you ever find yourself having that huge amount of trouble, just go to us and we'll talk through it together. Trust me, I'm going to be talking to everyone on here about this because I do not want to stop. In fact, I think I might just go do that now. So, yeah. Adios! Oh, one last thing. My lovely lady friend has created a blog for literature reviews. And that's not just the big books, that's you amateurs as well. So if you've got any writing that's finished and you think, right, let's get this checked, right? Send it her way. I'll put a link in the description below. So go visit and go follow. It's a great page.